Now everybody is talking about the gig economy. Have you been in that, and what can you do to help us, to successfully transition to the gig economy?
Good question. So actually, I like the fact that you pointedly asked me, have I been part of the gig economy since I'm promoting? So interestingly, from 1990, when I got out of college till around 2002, my 75% of my income, I would say, or at least 50% of my income was based on the gig economy. So when I got out of college, I wanted to start my own business. I started my own business. But when you're just starting off, not many people give you business. So I started taking up freelance assignments. So initially, I took up with three caterers. They were my regular people who would hire me. I charged them differently, depending on the work they expected. And about a year after I started my own business, and about a year after I got into the gig economy, of course, at that time it was called freelancing. We never called it a gig. So just after I got it, about a year later, a lady approached me and offered me a full-time job. And I said, no, I'm not going to take it up as a full-time job. I will do it as a part-timer. She was obviously, this is 1990. She was not happy about the idea, but I refused to relent. So she gave it a shot. And it was good that she did that, because hardly a month later or 2 months later, another organization approached me and they wanted a part-timer. Now, both this job at Annapurna with this lady and VSNL, the other company that approached me, I worked with them for 11 long years, getting a monthly paycheck. And with Annapurna, I was getting yearly increments also, right? With VSNL, it was, maybe every 3 years or 4 years, I would renegotiate my contract with them. So these two gigs lasted me for 11 years. Besides doing my own business, besides doing multiple gigs, I started a restaurant in Thane as a consultant, worked there for 3 months. Then I did a gig for 3 months in Dubai. Okay. So there were multiple gigs I did. So yeah, so that's my 12-year journey.
So very interesting. You ran an enterprise and simultaneously explored the gig economy. Am I right?
Yes, actually, it was more out of chance than choice. So I call myself the accidental gigger.
Exactly. So during that time, was your income decent enough to provide for your needs and family and business to fuel the business and expand it? Because people have a false impression, that salaries are only very high. So can you just shed some more light on that?
Yeah, so brilliant question. See, the fact that I'm sitting before you 30 years later, right? It obviously means it provided. So during that time, from 1990 to around 2002, honestly speaking, the one thing, the earnings were fantastic, by the way. Leroy, I mean, it was just mind blowing,
Okay.
because depending on the season, depending on the demand the person had, I would quote a price, right?
Okay.
You don't have a fixed list price. So whatever the project is, according to the project, according to your timing, according to what you quote. And I made a phenomenal amount of money in those first 12 years. But I'll tell you honestly, and that is one thing I would like to tell all giggers, I was not good at financial planning.
Okay.
So when I would see a large amount of money coming into my fold, I would end up spending a large amount of money. And then when I came into the down period where there is less business or less gigs available, I would go into hibernation, spend less. So if I knew how to save my money, if I knew how to invest my money, if I knew how to plan my expenses, that would have been fantastic. So the one thing that I did not learn, unfortunately, was financial planning, because the money was just too good. And when I'm saying just too good, even thinking about it now, I get excited.
Very good. So how did you overcome this weakness of lack of financial planning? What did you do to mainstream or put your business on mainstream as far as the cash flows are concerned?
So the cash flow, I never really learned it, like I told you, in the first 12 years. But around 2002, when I started Hospitality Training Institute, so at that time, there was a gentleman called Sunil who was my partner. And he was extremely good at financial planning. He was extremely good at planning. Okay. And from him, I learned how to plan. So, you look into the future, you see what things could come up. And when I'm talking about planning, it did not only affect my financial planning, it affected everything that I did after that. Whether it is designing my own home, or, interiors of the home, or any booklet. So two things that Sunil really gave me was planning, actually, not just financial planning, planning and structuring things. Both these things I did not have as a giger. In fact, I was enjoying the unstructured part of it.